There's been a lot of confusion and, frankly, a lot of misinformation about the role of the Governor-General, in Australia. More recently, we've heard claims that the Governor-General doesn't have the power to sack a government. That statement made by the Governor-General, Sam Mostyn, is an example of gross incompetence at best and a bald-faced lie at worst, in my opinion. If you haven't seen the clip, here it is.
And of course, I just have to remind all of the people that watch you and that watch me around wherever I go, I'm not a member of the government. I am absolutely something quite different. I have no politics. Now, there are many, many people who are calling out to me, yelling at me. I'm happy to absorb their pain and their anger at the moment, telling me that I should sack governments, that I should have sacked governments before. I guess it's an important civics lesson just to remind people that that is not one of my powers in these moments, that there are matters before governments and before politicians that are dealt with in our responsible and representative government, our system of government, our democracy, which is the envy of the world, where the power of who is in office in the states and territories and our local governments and at the Commonwealth level are held by the people. Compulsory voting, independent electoral commission, all of these things act to make us a beacon of the world, our democracy. And in moments like this, of course, people are angry. And I know they're directing their pain and their anger in many directions. And I'm happy to take their pain and absorb that and then reflect the fact that my job is to help people know where those solutions sit. And they don't sit with the Office of the Governor-General.
What we're seeing in this clip is the Governor-General lecturing the Australian people with a false civics lesson. The clip explains everything that's wrong with our political system. Elites and politicians believe that we, the people, their employers, need to be lectured on what they think is accurate and how they want things to be. That mindset explains why they all defend the broken two-party system. Like pigs in a trough, Australia's voting choices have become increasingly dangerous. You don't have to take my word for it. Look at the snipers positioned at the Bondi Vigil. The political class and the media will tell us this is just how things are now and that we need to get used to it. But I remember an Australia where this wasn't required, an Australia where authorities were held to account. The more elites are protected, the worse life gets for everyday Aussies. That's why this matters, because the Governor-General's comments have dragged us into a deeper constitutional crisis. And if His Majesty King Charles does not act, it raises a serious question. Have the safeguards of our Constitution failed? And if so, should Australia become a republic? To be clear, I'm not convinced that question isn't at some level part of the plan. That question arises from a more fundamental one. What happens if a Governor-General acts improperly and the government refuses to act? Who removes them? Here's the first fact people need to understand. The Governor-General is not appointed by the Prime Minister. They are appointed by the King of Australia. And under the Constitution, they serve at the King's pleasure. That phrase matters. It means the authority to remove a Governor-General does not belong to Parliament, and it does not ultimately belong to the Prime Minister. It belongs to the Crown. Under normal circumstances, the King acts on the advice of the Prime Minister. That's convention. But conventions are not laws. They only apply when everyone is acting constitutionally. And when a constitutional crisis emerges, conventions collapse and laws take over. So let's talk about a scenario everyone pretending doesn't exist. If a Governor-General acts politically, misrepresents constitutional powers, undermines confidence in the office, or becomes part of a constitutional conflict, all of which Mostyn has done, and the Prime Minister refuses to advise removal because it's politically inconvenient, then the Prime Minister is no longer a neutral advisor. They are part of the problem at that point. The king is not bound to accept their silence. This isn't radical. This is exactly why the crown exists in a constitutional monarch. The king's duty is not to the government of the day. It is to the constitution, the continuity of lawful government, and the stability of the nation. If those are threatened, the crown can act independently. This is the final safeguard of our constitution. So how does removal happen if the Prime Minister refuses to act? Pressure bypasses them through senior constitutional figures, former judges, state governors, and legal authorities. The King can seek independent constitutional advice and withdraw the Governor-General's commission. No parliamentary vote required. No Prime Minister's permission. Just law. To prevent chaos, the system has a safeguard. The longest-serving state governor becomes administrator of the Commonwealth. Government continues. No vacuum, no collapse. That said, under current circumstances, I would argue similar problems would arise due to the same elite corruption infecting our political system. Let me be very clear. This power is not routine. It is not political. It is not ceremonial. It exists for one reason only, to protect Australians from constitutional breakdown, including misconduct at the very top, which is exactly what we've seen. Yes, the power is rare. Yes, it is constrained. Yes, it is a last resort. But pretending it doesn't exist at all, that's not education. That's denial. And the same applies in reverse. No one in our system is above removal. Not a Prime Minister, not a Governor-General, not anyone. That isn't anti-democratic. It is the final safeguard of a democracy. And if you're uncomfortable right now, good. That means you're thinking, because Australia's in big trouble.